Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Deve Ravani Pracharini Shesha Shunyavadi Paschatyatishatari Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama
Jai Om Paramahansa Paripurajaka Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sakaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kundigiri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Tham Ki Jai. Navadip Tham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Ki Jai. Gangamai Ki Jai. Jamunamai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
So thank you very much, Maharaj, for joining us on our San Diego Zoom and YouTube channel. Before we begin, I want to mention that we are having some difficulty with our internet. The whole blog is having some internet difficulties. So we request that, unfortunately, if people keep their videos off, except for, of course, you, Maharaj, during the talk. That will help. And otherwise, I think we can sit down. Okay. So for anyone who is here or watching this video later, for those of you who do not know His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj, he joined the Hare Krishna movement in New York when he was 19 years old in 1968, and he received initiation from Srila Prabhupada. And then 10 years later, when he was, I guess, 29, he took sannyas initiation also. And so over the past 50 plus years, he has spent most of that time, almost all of that time, engaged in the service of a book production in different ways, especially as editing, or in the field of editing. And initially from stapling booklets and eventually proofreading, editing back to Godheads, and then editing Srila Prabhupada's books. And since then, over the past, maybe a few years ago, he has retired from BBT and has continued traveling as a sannyasi, giving lots of classes, giving lots of advice. And of course, at the moment, given the restrictions on travel, he still continues to give many classes. And I'll put some links in the Zoom and the YouTube information. His website is jswami.info, and you can see his different class schedules. At the moment, he's giving at least 4 classes every week. I mean, Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and also Thursday class, in addition to or with additional classes also. So you can see there. Also, if anyone is interested, Maharaj does have a book which was published, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago, something like that, some years ago, called Vanity Karma, which discusses Ecclesiastes, and also, of course, from the Krishna conscious point of view, with discussion from Bhagavad Gita. Maharaj, maybe you could also mention, I remember you mentioned that there's you mentioned giving it a new title also, because Vanity Karma can be confusing to some. I also wanted to remember what that was, but I forgot that. But there's also a book that you could look into. Yes?
Yes, we're thinking about a new title. We don't know, but if we did change it, one candidate is how is living even worth it?
Yes.
Because that's the actual theme of the biblical book of Ecclesiastes, and that topic is prominent in our book.
Thank you. Also, people, anyone listening live, keep in mind that Maharaj always allows for questions, always provides sufficient time for questions. So please keep that in mind. And you can enter in the chat box, or that's also, if you're on YouTube live, you can also enter into the chat, and we will let Maharaj know what those questions or comments are. So that's all I have to say. Thank you again, Maharaj, for joining us. I'll let you begin.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to see Radha Giridhari Temple again after a long time. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 11, Text 26. Ajata Paksha Iva Mataram Kagha Stanyam Yata Vatsatara Kshudartaha Priyam Priyeva Vyushitam Vishanna Manoravindaksha Trajikshate Tvam. This verse is spoken by Vajrasura to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. O lotus-eyed Lord, as baby birds that have not yet developed their wings always look for their mother to return and feed them, as small calves tied with ropes await anxiously the time of milking, when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers, or as a morose wife whose husband is away from home always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects, I always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you. Purport. A pure devotee always yearns to associate personally with the Lord and render service unto him. The examples given in this regard are most appropriate. A small baby bird is practically never satisfied, except when the mother bird comes to feed it. A small calf is not satisfied unless allowed to suck the milk from the mother's udder. And a chaste, devoted wife, whose husband is away from home, is never satisfied until she has the association of her beloved husband. Om Akyana Timirantasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manopistam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Tadati Shapadantikam Pandehang Shri Guru Shri Jatapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatan Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanshana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Prishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hori Priye Vanshako Pitarubhyascha Kripa Sindho Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Ajata Paksha Iva Mataram Kaka Stanyam Yata Vatsatara Shudartaha Priyam Priyeva Vyushitam Vishanna Manora Vindaksha Jidrikshate Tam. It's astonishing that a demon is speaking in this way. The fight is going on between Vritrasura and Lord Indra, and while speaking to Indra, the Vritrasura speaks this verse. It's notable that the Lord is not present physically before Vritrasura. Vritrasura is on the battlefield with Indra, and yet he speaks to the Lord in this earnest and intimate way. The previous verse and in this verse, and also in the next verse as well. We find the same thing in sometimes where Kunti Devi is speaking to the Lord as if he's there when he's not seen to be present. So this is notable. From one point of view, this is, well, we won't even go into that point of view. It's not necessary. Ajata Paksha, even Matra and Karna. This is beautiful poetic language spoken by a demon. So it's surprising because we expect that a demon will not even mention the Lord, or he'll speak insultingly of the Lord, as demons like Shishupal are seen to do. And yet, in the midst of the battlefield, while Indra is focused on the fight, Vritrasura is focused in this way on love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So of course we'll come to the description, the history of how this Vritrasura was found to be such a great devotee. But for the moment, we can just take what he says and look at that. Ajata paksha ivamataram kaga. The three examples are given, all of them examples of longing, of complete eagerness and longing. Ajata paksha means one whose wings, or Ajata paksha, those whose wings have not yet developed. Ajata paksha. Kaga. Kaga means birds, small birds. Their wings haven't developed yet. And what do they want? Mataram. They want their mother to come and feed them. They're not philosophizing. They're not eager to fly even. They just want their mother to come and feed them. They're completely dependent on the mother, and they're always looking toward the mother. No one has to give them a philosophical argument about whether or not their mother exists, about whether or not they should be thinking of their mother. Automatically, they're thinking, when will our mother come? When will our mother come? When will our mother come? This is it is the example. And stanyam yata vatsatara kshudarta arta. The calves are kshudarta. They're distressed. Arto artarti jigyasu ganija in the Bhagavad Gita, distressed. One category of person who comes to Krishna. So kshudarta, they're distressed by thirst and hunger. So the young calves are just desiring, when will our mother come? When, so that we can drink milk? When will mother come? Even you'll hear at the time of milking, in India, the process of milking is that they first allow the calves to come and drink milk from the mother. And then after the cow affectionately feeds the calf, the milkman moves the calf aside and takes the milk from the cow. So at the time of milking, you'll hear the calves mooing, basically saying, "We want our mother, we want our mother." And you'll hear the cow also mooing, "We want our calf, we want our calf." So the Vritrasura is praying, giving the example of the little calves. And priyam priyeva vyushitam visanna. The wife, when the husband is away from home, is vishanna, or morose. When will my husband come home? When will my husband come home? Like during the war, when the men are away at the front, the wives are thinking, when will my husband come back? When will my husband come back? So Vajrashra says, Mana Aravindaksha Judrikshate Tvam. In a similar way, my mind so much wants to see you. Aravindaksha, oh, lotus-eyed Lord. Aravinda means lotus, and Aksha means eyes. Oh, Aravindaksha. Judrikshate Mana. My mind so much wants to see you. It's not that, like the philosopher who is intrigued or engaged with a mental or intellectual problem, but like the calf that so much wants the milk of the mother, like the little birds who so much want their mother to come, or like the wife who's yearning for her husband to return. This is spontaneous love. Srila Rupa Goswami also prays that young girls are attracted to young boys and young boys are attracted to young girls. So when will I have that kind of spontaneous love for you? No one has to teach a young girl how to be attracted to a young boy, or a young boy how to be attracted to a young girl. No university courses. Automatically they're attracted. Automatically they're attracted. So this is pure love. And this is the nature of the pure soul. When the mind is contaminated by passion and ignorance especially, or even by mundane goodness, then we want so many other things. We want new gadgets. We want to see this video. We want to see that. We want to see this. We want to see that. We want to see the Grand Canyon. We want to see so many things. We want to see so many things. And we're not eager to see Krishna. We're not eager. We're not even interested. Where's money? Where is sex? Where is liquor? Where's my next cigarette? And even those who take up spiritual life, the Mayavadis, the impersonalists, they don't want to see Krishna. Yeah, even if they see Krishna, they're seeing with the idea that when we're more advanced, then we won't see anything. We won't see this temporary form of the absolute truth. We'll merge with the absolute truth, transcending form, transcending qualities, transcending activities. We'll become one with God. So they're not eager to see the Lord. Even if they want to see the Lord for some purpose, to facilitate their impersonal meditation, ultimately they don't care about the Lord. Ultimately they don't care. And even those who are the devotees of the Lord, on the level of practice, they also may not have, or they won't have, this same eager desire. It will develop. But in the beginning, the arta artarti jigyasu gani, the practicing devotee, has some interest in seeing the Lord, definitely. But not this yearning, this greed, this eagerness to see the Lord. This is the sign of advancement in Krishna consciousness. Of course, even in the earlier stages, these feelings may appear. I want to see Krishna. I want to see Krishna. That is very good for the, very good. I want to see Krishna. And the more one becomes purified, the more one chants Hare Krishna, the more one hears from books like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, the more one associates with devotees, the more one lives in a spiritual atmosphere, the more these natural feelings will come out. This is the natural feeling of the soul. We're only interested in other things because our natural love for Krishna is covered. When that natural love is covered by the three modes of material nature, then Bahu Shaka Hinantascha, then we're interested in this, interested in that. We sit down to chant the holy name of Krishna, and we think of this, we think of that, we think of this, we think of that. The mind is Bahu Shaka, going in so many different directions. And we're hardly eager to see Krishna. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Yugayitam Nimeshena Chakshusha Pravashayatam. Hitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Vidahename. Acutely feeling the absence of Krishna, so much so that a moment seems like millions of years, and the eyes are full of tears. This is love. This is love. So that in that loving mood, in that pure love of Krishna, one always wants to see Krishna. Gopis are cursing Brahma or deriding Brahma, that what kind of fool has been put in charge of creation? What kind of dunce, what kind of prosaic person has been put in charge of creation? Look what he's done. He's made eyelids that blink and obstruct our seeing Krishna. If just the blinking of an eyelid is a disturbance, we want to see Krishna. We want to see Krishna, not just for a moment, but on and on. We want to see Krishna. We want to see Krishna. The gopis are thinking that the blink of an eyelid is too much of a disturbance. So this is the natural love that is that will develop as a devotee advances in Krishna consciousness. We can't jump to that stage artificially. Simply to pretend is not the same. But by following the regulative principles, by serving, and by hearing about these things and the association of devotees, we'll find gradually these things will develop. In the immature, it doesn't develop, or we may just get a little glimpse while we're in the probationary stage. Even in the probationary stage, we may get some sense of this. But in the mature stage, it becomes overwhelming. It becomes spontaneous and overwhelming. It's no longer a question of practice. It's no longer a question of looking in the books and seeing what one should or shouldn't do. It becomes overwhelming and spontaneous. So it's surprising to find that the demon, Vritrasura, is showing this extreme love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even the demigods find it difficult to develop that love, or don't have that same kind of love. Muhyanti at Surya, they're bewildered. They have, Kunti Devi says, Janmai Sharya Shrutashib here. One becomes intoxicated by beauty, by knowledge, by high birth. Now, the demigods even have that tendency to be bewildered by heavenly enjoyment, by the exalted nature of their posts. And so even in the demigods, we don't see this kind of love for Krishna. But here in this demon, this love is seen. Mana aravindaksha tradikshate tvam. My mind wants to see you. My mind wants to see you. Our mind wants to see everything else. Bhaja hure mana Sri Nandanandana Bhaya Charanada Vindare. Govindadas is praying to his mind, my dear mind, just stop your nonsense and be engaged in the devotional service of Sri Nandanandan Krishna, and the service of the fearless lotus feet of the Lord. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is praying, Dushtaman Tumi Kisher Vaishnav. My dear mind, what kind of Vaishnava are you? You're just looking for false prestige. You want to be known as a great devotee. You want to do nirjana bhajan, and just for cheap adoration. What kind of nonsense rascal mind are you? But here there's no question of putting on a show. There's no question of seeking false adoration. This extraordinary demon, Vritrasura, is intensely desiring that my mind so much wants to see you. My mind so much wants to see you. And he gives these examples. That's the goal of Krishna consciousness, to be so much absorbed in this desire, this yearning, this intense desire. Let me see Krishna, let me be engaged in the service of Krishna. There's no difference between seeing and being engaged in service. One sees not by ordinary vision, but premanjana churita bhakti vilojanena santa sadaiva hridiyeshu vilokayanti. one sees by the grace of the Lord, one sees the Lord by the grace of the Lord, when one is eager to serve the Lord. And that example is given, that the wife is yearning for the husband to satisfy all her desires in every respect, and also to satisfy the husband. This is natural. So the devotee wants to have that satisfaction of seeing Krishna and wants to satisfy Krishna by service. The Bhaktya Mam Abhijananti, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati, Yavan Yaschasmi Tattvata, Tato Mam Tattvato Gyatva Vishate Tadanantara. Only by devotional service can one understand Krishna. And by devotional service, one can enter into the spiritual world, into the association of Krishna. Vishate Tadanantara. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right, maybe we'll see what kind of questions there might be.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for the wonderful talk. I had one question. So you mentioned so nicely about, the mind and asking it to stop the nonsense and focus on the devotional service of the Lord, and be very absorbed with so much yearning, with so much intense desire. So my question was, Maharaj, many times, we get engaged in job life or family life. Okay, someone is okay. Yeah. So, Hare Krishna Maharaj. So they are asking there are some demands of the work, family, so many other things. So how to be, fulfill those responsibilities at the same time to get that absorption or that much yearning and intense desire for Krishna?
Yes, therefore we have to associate with devotees. We need to hear, we need to chant. For the householders in particular, the worship of the deity is very important. All of these, that's sadhana. It's not that sadhana is for the brahmacharis and the sannyasis only, but for the grihastas to follow the four regulative principles, to chant 16 rounds a day, to associate with devotees, to hear Krishna Katha, to practice avoiding the 10 offenses while chanting. All of these things, all of the practices of devotional service are meant to uplift us. The nectar of devotion is our essential guide, what to do, how to practice devotional service so that we can develop this Krishna consciousness. So that's one answer. Another answer is, therefore one should give up householder life. It's not that one should remain a householder for one's whole life. The householder life is a kind of concession for some time, because man is desiring a woman is desiring a man. We want family happiness, family companionship. So there's some concession for that in the varnashram system. But it's not meant to be lifelong. It's not meant to be lifelong. It's meant to be for some time.
Correct.
Do this for some time and then stop. Vanaprastha is there for detachment. Detachment on the one side from, or freedom really, from all of these engagements, my work, my family duties, this function, that function, this ceremony, that ceremony, getting free from all of those things and being engaged intensively in activities of service. So in Vanaprastha ashram, then finally sannyas is there. Because it is difficult. Every grihastha asks this question: how can I balance my work with my desire to become Krishna conscious? Yes, it can be done, but it's a project. It's a big hurdle. How do I do this? It can be done, but at a certain stage, best way to do it is just get rid of it. Get free from family life and be intensively engaged in the service of the Lord without being encumbered by family duties and family preoccupations. So we should make that part of our life plan. Not that, well, one day maybe when Krishna desires, but that should be part of our plan as we plan for materialists plan for retirement, or we make so many plans. So this should be part of our life plan, how to retire from family life and be free from so many other unwanted duties so that I can focus as husband and wife, so that we can focus on Krishna's service and come to this stage of spiritual advancement, which is the real business of human life. Family life is not the ultimate purpose of life. Every dog and cat has that. But the human life is meant for spiritual realization, for Krishna consciousness. And this Varnashram Dharma is set up in such a way as to help us. Is that all right?
Yes, thank you so much, Maharaj.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Do we have some other questions? Mm-hmm.
My child has a question. Gonda.
How was Vritrasura a devotee demon?
Maybe the mother can translate.
So he's asking, Vritrasura is considered a pure devotee. How can we call him a demon? Or vice versa?
Yes, he's born in a demon family. And he's fighting against Indra, which is what the demons do. So circumstantially, he's a demon. He's fighting against the demigods. He has a horrible form of a very ferocious demon. So he appears to be a demon. But then when we see what his consciousness is, it's not at all the consciousness of a demon. Even Prahlad Maharaj is considered a demon. Prahladas Trasmi Daityana. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, among the demons, I'm Prahlad Maharaj. So he's considered a demon because he's born in a demon family. That means finally that it's not just by what family we're in that our nature is known. Sometimes in the lowest families, a great devotee appears. Or sometimes in a family of devotees, one is devoid of devotional qualities. Maharaj Anga was a great devotee, but his son was King Vena, who was actually demonic. So sometimes in a devotee family, even in a devotee family, someone appears with a demonic nature. or sometimes in the family of demons, the most advanced devotees here, like Vritrasura or Prahlad. So we have to see the qualities in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The divine qualities are described and the demonic qualities.
How could you call Prahlad Maharaj a demon?
I didn't call him a demon. Krishna called him a demon. Prahladas Chasmi Daityanam. Daitya means the son of Diti. But generally the sons of Diti, they're all considered demons. The Prahlad Maharaj, who was his father? His father was demon number 1, Hiranyakashipu. So the child born in the family of demons is automatically considered a demon. But when we see that by his actual behavior, he's so much attracted to Krishna, then we say, oh, this is not a demon. This says you're asking, how can we call Prahlad Maharaj a demon? Superficially, we can say he's a demon because he's the son of Hiranyakashipu. But ultimately, or factually, he's a pure devotee of Krishna. Only superficially a demon. Just like sometimes Haridas Thakur, he's sometimes referred to as a lecha or yavan. It means a low-class person. But that's only superficially. Otherwise, Namacharya, he's the example of a great devotee chanting the holy name of Krishna. So superficially, we may see in terms of the body, here's an American, here's an Indian, here's a white man, a black man, a woman, a this, a that. But that's only superficially. We may say, here's a black man, or here's a white man, or here's a woman, or here's this, according to the body. But we know that the body is not the self. And finally we see, oh, here's a Vaishnava. Why? Because devotion is there. When that devotion to Krishna is there, then they're no longer considered man, woman, white, black, Indian, American. They're considered Vaishnava. Oh, such a devotee. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay, thank you.
I have a
You're breaking up, Prabhu. I think maybe you have to type your question.
if I may.
You've got low quality there. I think you need to type your question either on Facebook. Yes, you're on Zoom, so you can type it in the chat box, and then I can deal with it because your connectivity is poor.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Rajendra Nandana Das here. Please have my obeisances.
Obeisances.
I was so happy to have this opportunity to hear from you. It's been way too long.
Oh, it's your kind, Rajendra Nandana.
It was such an inspiring discourse you shared with us. Can I share with you one thought I had and then ask you to expand on it, please?
I don't know if I can expand on it, but I'd certainly be eager to hear your thought.
You so nicely told us the importance of following the principles and hearing the Shastra and associating with devotees, engaging in devotional service. And this will always be of paramount importance. And I also thought of the statement that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that even if you follow all 64 items of sadhana bhakti perfectly, you will not necessarily, it's not exactly the way in which you can develop this intense yearning that the demon we're hearing speak in such a way. So that desire is what really is at the core of, so even in a neophyte stage, somehow or other, the process is meant to nurture the desire within, and we're supposed to focus or pray, I suppose, that it increasingly manifests. So do you mind just giving some thought in that regard also?
As you were speaking, because now anything I say, it's because of your speaking.
Oh, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. But as you were speaking, it occurred to me that it's our eagerness, and at the same time, it's Krishna's mercy, and the two are connected. We may be eager, but finally it depends on Krishna's mercy. When Krishna's kind, then we can see him, or then we can have even the eagerness to see him. But the two are connected, and the examples show that. The little birds are eager to be fed by the mother, and the mother's, she's flying around how to find something for the little birds. The calves are eager to drink the milk of the mother, and the mother is eager to feed the calves. So it's reciprocal. The wife is waiting for the husband to come home. The husband is thinking, when will I see my wife? So that, so what makes Krishna, so Krishna responds to the desire of the devotee. And as Prabhupada said, we've heard many times that you take one step toward Krishna, and Krishna takes, then there are different versions, 10 or 20 or 100 steps toward you. So if we cultivate that desire, if we just turn toward Krishna, finally, if we just turn toward Krishna, then we can be hopeful that Krishna is very kind, Krishna is very merciful. And even then we're praying to Krishna's merciful nature. Hare Krishna, not just Krishna, 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 but Hare Krishna, oh kind, merciful energy of Krishna. Please let me be engaged. So finally we have to depend on Krishna's mercy. Thank you, Richard.
Oh, thank you so much. And after having given that instruction to Gorakeshava, I think his name was, my Prabhu in the household ashram, I haven't seen you for so long, but by the mercy of COVID, Krishna, Shatur and I have been in the Vanaprastha ashram for a year now. It's official. So it may be a gradual process, but there's hope. There's hope for some of us. So pray for us and be kind upon us if you ever think of us, Maharaj.
You've been Vanaprastha for longer than I can remember.
When you said that example of the wife yearning because my job took me away 5 months of the year, basically, Chatur goes, I can relate with that. But it's not complete until you get away from the yoke of the earning money to pay the bills. It's Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
World of difference.
Yeah. So now you're official.
I won't take up more time. I know people want to ask you questions. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
I don't know why they threw me in here when you're there, Prabhuji.
Oh, they get too much of my association. And Chatura sends her best, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Well, let's see.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I have a question. According to Bhagavad Gita, correct me if I'm wrong. According to Bhagavad Gita, one get a body according to his desires, his nose, eyes are all God because of his past karma. So then how come a devotee like Prahalad Maharaj is born in a demon family, or a devotee is born in a lower caste?
That's in the case of devotees like Prahlad Maharaj, these are considered pastimes. These are considered pastimes. That by Krishna has something to teach us. Krishna has something to show us. So then a great devotee, of course there's some history given in the Puranas why Prahlad Maharaj is in that particular situation. But ultimately, it's for our benefit, or it's for Krishna's pleasure. So that this whole drama can be, if he wasn't born the son of Hiranyakashipu, there'd be no story. There'd be no pastime. There'd be no reason for Lord Nrsingadev to appear. So in a case of a devotee like Prahlad Maharaj or Vritrasura, these are Krishna's divine arrangements.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. There's more question. This is in the chat box. Give us our day, this daily bread. Give us this day our daily bread type prayer. How can we understand this in contrast with Varamnayache from Dhruva? Sounds like Vritrasura is praying for some service rather than to serve. No, he's praying to be engaged in serving. This is his intense desire. Yes. Let me just move something out of the way. As you'll find in the next verse, he's praying, I don't want to be attached to my body, my wife, my children, my home. This is all Maya. I want to, my mind and everything I have to be attached only to you. This is not to give us this day our daily bread. This is not arta artarti jigyasu ganicha. This is a prayer. Please let me be engaged in Krishna consciousness. Please let me be engaged in thinking of you, speaking about you, that serving. What is that prayer by Nanda Maharaj? Brahmyamananam. He's speaking to Uddhava. Yes. Karmabir Brahmyamananam Yatra Kwapi Shvarech Chaya Mangala Charitar Dhanai Ratir Na Krishna Ishare. The previous verse, Manaso Vitayo Nasyu Krishna Padam Bhujashrayaha Vacho Bidhayanir Nam Kayastat Pravanadishu. May our minds, our mental functions always take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. May our words always chant his names. And may our bodies always bow down to him and serve him. Wherever we're made to wander about this world by the Supreme Lord's will, in accordance with the reactions to our fruitive work, may our good works and charity always grant us love for Lord Krishna. Ratina Krishna Ishre. May our attachment be to Krishna. So that's a far cry from any desire for material benefits. May our minds, our bodies, our words, may everything be engaged in Krishna's service.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I have one question.
Mm.
Please forgive me, it's not a right question to ask. It's about dairy, like you were explaining in the purport that, how mother cow or baby cow is yearning for the mother, and the same way mother is yearning to feed the baby. And this modern in dairy industry, um, is actually separating the babies at the time of the birth itself, so never they get to suckle the milk from the mom. And I always had this doubt because we have to consume non-violent food, and also heard that milk is very important for spiritual growth. So it's kind of very confusing. When I think of those babies and moms, they never could stay together after birth. So is that what would Krishna want us to have the milk, or I don't know. It's like I really was looking for this answer for a long time.
Best thing is to have your own cows. For there to be communities where devotees are keeping cows. Now I'm in Florida, but I was up in the Northeast. So from Gitanagari, the devotees are getting milk. In New Jersey, in New York, they're getting milk from Gitanagari. And then this question doesn't come. They're getting the milk from the cows that are taken care of by devotees. So Prabhupada wanted us to do that, to keep our own cows and give that milk to the deities and the devotees.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think we can stop here. Or, yeah, is there any other question? I think maybe we can stop here. Hare Krishna.
Okay, if there are no other questions, then I guess we could end here. Thank you very much, Maharaj, for joining us. And thank you for speaking and answering all of our questions.
Thank you.
So for anyone who's on the Zoom, Tapas entered Maharaj's website and his online class information, the schedule, and also that's on the YouTube live comments also. And I think we'll put it in the information on that video when it's posted. We'll put in the information. So you can check that out also. Maharaj speaks at least 4 times a week, every week.
There's a Bhagavatam class 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And on Thursday, there's ISKCON, which is questions and answers and discussion. So that's what's going on. And you'll get the links from this. All right.
Gaurkesha Prabhu, do you have something to say?
I just wanted to thank Maharaj for coming and sharing with us and answering the questions. Very grateful to you, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gaurkesha Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, could you share that verse number that you just referred to just at the end?
Yes, it's
Please.
Srimad Bhagavatam 10, 47, 66, and 67. 10, 47, 66, and 67. Nanda Maharaj is speaking to Uddhava when Uddhava was visiting Vrindavan.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. And thank you for the class.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. All right. Thank you all. Hare Krishna.
I would request everyone to enable the video and chant 3 times Haribol to thank Maharaj. Everyone please enable videos and
Let's try it.
let's chant 3 times Haribol.
Haribol.
His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj ki jai. Jai.
Hare Krishna. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Gaur Premanande.